Hi guys, Dan Burgess with Burgess Institute. Today we're going to be learning how to conjugate in the present tense verbs tener, which means to have, ir, which is to go, and hacer, which is to do. We're going to be learning the present tense conjugations, and then we're going to see some examples in real life conversations just so we can see them in use. So let's do it. So I said we're going to learn how to conjugate them in the present tense. Just a quick review, the present tense is not used for what is happening right now. The present tense, both in English and in Spanish, is used for two specific things. It is used for facts, as in, I have a brother, that is a fact. And it is also used for recurring activities, as in, on Tuesdays, I go to the supermarket, meaning like every Tuesday. Some other examples with other verbs that we are not going to be learning today would be something like, I live in Brooklyn, for example. That's a fact. And we can also say something like, on Fridays, I usually cook chicken, for example. That would be another recurring activity. So before we learn how to conjugate these three verbs in the present tense, just a quick review on the different grammatical persons. Both in English and in Spanish, we have 6 grammatical persons. We have 3 singular ones and 3 plural ones. So let's review them in English real quick. First person in English is I. That's the first person singular. It's just me. Second person singular is you, referring to one person. And third person would be he or she, third person singular. First person plural, which means me and more people, is we. Second person plural in English is also you. So you can mean either you, one person, or you, all of you, like you, a group of people. And the third person plural in English is they. In Spanish, those are going to be yo for I, tú for you, singular for only one person, él or ella for he or she, nosotros or nosotras, we have male and female, for we, vosotros or vosotras for you all, you plural, and then ellos, ellas for they. As a quick reminder, we have 2 extra pronouns in Spanish, and those are formal second person pronouns. However, we usually put them in the third row along with the third person pronouns just because they are conjugated in the third person. So usted means you, one person. It's the same as tú, but formal, but it's going to take the he and she conjugation. So the third row will be él, ella, usted, which means respectively he, she, and also you, formal singular. But again, conjugated in the third person. It doesn't belong there, but it uses the third person conjugation. And in a similar way, ustedes is the formal second person plural pronoun, and it's the same as vosotros or vosotras, but formal. But again, it borrows the conjugation from they, ellos, and ellas. So we're going to place it in that same row. So ellos, ellas, ustedes will be either they or also you, formal plural. So let's look at the conjugations. Let's start with tener, to have. So the first person, I have, first person singular, is going to be yo tengo. And we can omit yo, that's very commonly done in Spanish, and just say tengo, and that's already I have. You have is tienes. He or she has, tiene. We have, tenemos. You all have, tenéis. And they have, tienen. So as we have mentioned in other videos, for second person plural, in all of Latin America, people don't use tenéis, the vosotros conjugation. Instead, people always use the formal version, ustedes tienen, for every situation. It doesn't matter if they are addressing someone formally or informally. So you can choose to do that and just don't memorize tenéis if you want to do that. And when you address a group of people, always use tienen, and that's perfectly fine. So we can skip the fifth one, tenéis. It is only used in Spain. So the whole thing is tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen. And saying it with the pronouns would be yo tengo, tú tienes, él, ella, usted tiene, nosotros, nosotras tenemos, vosotros, vosotras tenéis, and this one you can skip it. And then the last one is ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen. Let's do ir, to go. I go is going to be voy. You go, vas. He or she goes, va. We go, vamos. You all go, in Spain, vais. And they go, or you all go, formal version, van. With the pronouns, that would be yo voy. Tú vas. Él, ella, usted va. Nosotros, nosotras vamos. Vosotros, vosotras vais. Ellos, ellas, ustedes van. And lastly, hacer, to do. And I'm going to pronounce it in this example, HACER, pronouncing the C as an S, which is the way it's done in all of Latin America and even in some areas of Spain. I would naturally pronounce it hacer in my Madrid accent, but I'm going to do hacer just because it's more popular to pronounce it that way. Either one is perfectly correct. So, hacer, to do. I do, yo hago. You do, tú haces. He or she does, él, ella hace. And also, usted hace. We do, nosotros, nosotras hacemos. You all do, vosotros or vosotras hacéis. And they do, ellos, ellas hacen. And also, ustedes hacen for you all do formal. So the whole thing without saying the pronoun, hago, haces, hace, hacemos, hacéis, hacen. So it is very important to memorize these conjugations, and my recommendation would be to memorize them with the pronouns, especially at the beginning. So, for example, with ir, instead of going voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van, I would recommend repeating in your head as often as you can, yo voy, tú vas, él, ella, usted va, nosotros, nosotras vamos, vosotros, vosotras vais, ellos, ellas, ustedes van. Just drill that over and over as often as you can. Another good idea is to write them down a few times on a piece of paper. So here are some examples with tener. For example, we can ask someone, do you have a cat? And that would be, ¿tienes un gato? And that person would respond, sí, tengo un gato. Yes, I have a cat. Or if that person doesn't have a cat, they could say instead, no tengo un gato. We can also ask someone, ¿tienes hermanos o hermanas? Do you have brothers or sisters? And that person could say, sí, tengo un hermano y dos hermanas. Or that person could maybe say, no tengo hermanos o hermanas. For using hacer and ir, we are going to need a couple more things. When we say on Tuesdays in English, that usually means every Tuesday, right? On Tuesdays I do this thing, it means every Tuesday I do that thing. So for saying that in Spanish, we're going to say los martes. Los is the, we are literally saying the Tuesdays, but that is just how it works. It is purely idiomatic, it is just the way it is. So for saying on Sundays, we'll say los domingos. For saying on Fridays, los viernes, etc. For being more specific and saying like in the morning or in the afternoon or at night, we can say por la mañana for in the morning, por la tarde for in the afternoon or in the evening, and then por la noche for at night. However, in English, instead of saying on Fridays at night, we usually say on Friday nights, or we could say on Saturday mornings, etc. In Spanish, we have to do it in the long way. So on Friday nights will be los viernes por la noche, on Fridays at night. On Saturday mornings will be los sábados por la mañana. And on Thursday afternoons, los jueves por la tarde. And with to go, ir, we are going to need some places to go to. Here are some examples. we can go to the supermarket, so that's el supermercado. Or we can go to the movie theater, el cine. Or we can go to the park, el parque. Or the school, la escuela. Or we can go to the shopping mall, el centro comercial. And one last thing, if we say I go to the school, we would say yo voy a la escuela. But if the place we're going to is masculine, when we say to the, a el, we have to merge that into al. So I go to the school, voy a la escuela. However, I go to the park, we cannot say voy a el parque. We have to merge a el and make it al, and this is mandatory. So I go to the park, voy al parque. And here are the examples. We could ask someone, ¿qué haces los martes por la tarde? What do you do on Tuesdays in the afternoon or in the evening? In Spanish, we don't differentiate. Evening and afternoon are both tarde. And someone could reply, los martes por la tarde voy al parque. On Tuesdays in the afternoon or on Tuesday afternoons, I go to the park. We could also ask someone, ¿qué haces los domingos por la mañana? What do you do on Sunday mornings? And that person could say, los domingos por la mañana voy al supermercado. On Sundays in the morning or on Sunday mornings, I go to the supermarket. So that's it for today. I would recommend that you pause this video now, grab a piece of paper and write down a few more examples in which someone asks someone, what do you do on this day at this time? And that person replies, on this day and this time, I go to this place. And you can use all the vocabulary that we've had in this lesson. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to take Spanish classes with us, check the links in the description. And I will see you in the next video.